No, it's okay. Now you can speak.
Or slide number 2, perhaps.
Yes, I'm doing my best. There it is, like that. It's okay if you use this setup. It's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah.
It's more than okay. So this is the agenda for today. Wrap up of this year's user conference, and then start looking ahead for the upcoming event next year. A little bit around goals and expectations, programs, and all the usual stuff, I would say. And for those who are new, I think you will quickly pick up on what's going on. I think we can just move to the next. Yeah, this is the wrap up of this year. Probably familiar numbers. 265 number of participants, 170 from customers and 44 companies, 85 partners from 19 companies. And before we arranged the event this year, we had a goal to get a better mix of customer representatives and partners, and I think we achieved that, or we did achieve that. So it's closer to 60-40 than 50-50, meaning that we don't want this to turn into a partner event with mostly partners. But the way it's looking now, this is under control. The details around the program you can see for yourself. I think all in all, it was a really good mix this time. And I think we will see that when we get to the next slide, where you have the feedback evaluation. Lots of Norwegian words there, and it's not a word cloud or those kind of things, so it's not representative, although bra means good, and since that's the most visible one, that's the one I'm taking away. But it's a lot of positive feedback, and you can also see from the chart there that most of the people who has responded are quite satisfied, either top score 5 or 4, and a few on 3. I think that's you, Øystein. So, but there is no participants that are very unsatisfied, and that's really good. So I think all in all, it's been a while since we had the conference, but it was a very successful event, I think. So I have not had any negative feedback except for the bar closing too early, but I think that's a good thing overall. At least for day number 2. Okay.
Next.
Any questions so far? Just feel free to ask as we go. I don't think it's a particularly shy crowd this, so I'm guessing you will interrupt if you have something to say. More evaluation. This is the best presentations that was highlighted from the response we got in the survey. So the technical stuff, Infor AI with Infor was among those. Also, ERP Consult's presentation was up there, and the one from Vince, and the customer presentation by Sophia also made it to the top charts. So
you can say that it's often like this, that it's mostly the most popular speeches is the ones where the customer are involved.
Yeah, it has a tendency of being a success if it's a good presentation. But I mean, the top one is not involving any.
No, I can, but you can, you know, several years ago we have done this evaluation every time, and it's the customer speeches are always on the top, more or less.
And the green stuff here is the entertainment, and the specialist corner was also rated quite well. we had a twist on that this year, so we had the meeting rooms set aside for that. I think the new layout we ended up with this year was a better layout than the one we had the year before. So we will continue that. Yeah, and people were quite happy with the area where we have the exhibitions from the partners as well. So that was good. Yeah, next one.
Next.
Unless there are any questions to the evaluations and already completed event. Okay, good. Then it's time to look forward. The upcoming event next year, we have some goals for that. Customer focus, that's, yeah, I guess always up there. We also want to encourage diversity and try to promote women. Feedback we get is that there is a lot of old men on stage, and we're trying to do some actions to make sure we also have women on stage. So that's something we are working on. But it's better to have a man than to have nothing at all. So we'll be practical around those topics, but we are trying to be conscious about also displaying female front figures on the stage. We want 45 member companies to attend, and we are aiming for 290 participants. We'll see what happens. That's a little bit more than we had this year, and maybe a big ask, but we'll see what happens. We want to focus on end-to-end solutions, and we are also going to focus on AI this time as well. Any questions or comments to the goals? Anything you are concerned about?
Yeah, of course, I am, Ståle.
Yes.
Could you call it when you're on details leveler? Can we call it AI and machine learning?
Yes.
Thank you.
I agree. I think we are probably not going to push this a lot out to the participants, but these are the areas that we are talking about. But yes, AI, machine learning, robotics, that's a big mix. So that's hidden. Yeah, agreed.
I have one question, or rather big request. The space for the booth was the size was just 2 meters. It's very atypical size, so we had to produce something exclusively for this event. Is it possible this year or the next year to enlarge the space for typical 3 meters, or you have too few space?
Yeah, Lena is the one in charge of the space part
at the exhibition.
Yeah, it's a little bit limited. I think we'll get to that in a second. We have a slide on the layout as well, and I think I think we need to look at that. I'm not sure how much we have to work with the number.
It actually depends on how many what to call it, stands we have.
Yeah.
How many of you want to participate with the booth, and so that's part of it. And this location we have. Well, it's hard. It's very hard, Lucas.
Okay, no, I understand. I mean, the feedback I received, and it's not a complaint, but the feedback I received that there were moments that we were like crowded by people, and it was kind of limited space for the customers waiting for some gifts or for the discussion. So it's a bit better if we have more place, not only for us but also for the convenience of the regular participants. So that's why I brought this topic. But I obviously understand the the boundaries you have.
But we can discuss it when we look at the chart.
Yeah, sure. I don't want to interrupt.
And usually it's a question regarding what kind of sponsor you use the event as well. If you're a gold sponsor, you have a bigger booth. If you're a silver, it's a bit smaller. Bronze, even smaller. And I think last year, Lucas, you were silver, so the golden ones are bigger.
Yeah,
I think that's the clear message.
Yeah. So the priority is that the gold members get more space than the silver and so on. But if there is room to improve it for everyone, then we can, of course, look at that. But we haven't done the detailed measuring there. So let's cover that when we get to the layout. We're expecting 20 partners to show up.
That's the limit. That we don't have the space for more.
No, that's the threshold. Yeah. But we tend to fill that space, so that's our expectations as well. But it's also a limitation, and we'd like your confirmation for participation before mid-November. And then there are some guidelines and rules here. We also want presentations from the participants. And you can look at this as, I think my take on this is a positive angle. So being a partner here, you are eligible for giving a presentation, and you should take advantage of that opportunity and make the best of it. If you do good presentations together with a customer, then it's a good display of your business, and it can lead to more business. Last year or this year, we had some partners that could not manage a lecture or a presentation, and that is also something we need to deal with. I'd rather not have a bad presentation and force a presentation than to then it's better that they contribute with something else, a webinar or something like that. This is normally not a problem. I think the biggest issue here is to be on time with what you want to present, and give Lena some chance to work on how we stack the presentations and get that sorted quickly. It's also a good thing if we can go out to the members and tell them what to expect. If we have a good program, if you can deliver good presentations that are interesting, it's a bigger chance for them to submit to the conference. If it's a lot of empty space and we don't know what is going to be the topics, then people may not join this year, so or next year. So please come back to Lena with your topics and what you want to present. And as always, we prefer to be close to customers and to present customers on stage, if possible. That gives a better feeling for the crowd as well. But it's not an absolute demand.
But it's not if you know this speech is if you don't have the speaker in place when it's the theme is important, so I can put it out in the program and we can say, okay, this is Novakura who's speaking here, and we can put in the speaker in later. It's no problem. The most important is to get the members some understanding of what's going to happen.
Yeah, some keywords, some highlights, what the presentation is going to be about. We don't need the full slide deck and everything prepared for the first deadline here. But I think you understand that. Okay, next one.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit about the program.
Some changes there.
Yeah, there are some changes, and here you have to help me out a little bit, Lena, because you're the one with the details. But we have made some major changes around the lunch that will be in the restaurant, or that's what we plan to do. That means on one side that the participants will not be roaming around your stands during lunch, but it may also mean that the stand area or the area where you have your exhibitions are feels less crowded, and people get a break and they can sit down and they can come back for a cup of coffee and enjoy the exhibitions. One vendor, one booth, one presentation. That's the same as last year. Include the customer, that's okay. You have some small prints, possible lectures, those are ideas that you can have a look at, or things that we have already planned a little bit.
Yeah, that's examples of what we wish to have in the program. So if you could look a little bit on it when you're planning for the speech book.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have something that you know will be well received, then please don't hold it back if it's not a perfect fit with the stuff we have.
Oh, no.
I think if you just use your imagination a little bit, then there are for sure things that you have done together with your customers that are making value for those who participate. We're also rearranging the program a little bit. I'm not sure if the next slide is maybe a better way to show that.
Yeah, perhaps. But I just want to say something about this one. Breakout sessions, we had shortened them down. Some of you have asked for that, and the participants. So we say instead of 45 minutes, it's 30 minutes. And perhaps I can see that sometimes it's short, sometimes it's enough, you know. But if you mean that you have more to tell, why not try to do this as a this is just you can follow up with a webinar. We can arrange a webinar afterwards, week after, month after, or something like that, and you can take the whole story there.
Yeah, and it may also mean that you need to focus the presentation around one topic and not cover too many topics. What the reason behind this is to free up a little bit more time and to get a better mix in the program, but it's also something that we've seen that a lot of the presentations do end after 25-30 minutes, and the last 15 minutes of the slot is just people moving around. So we're trying to change that a little bit and see if this works out in a better way. And as Lena says, if it's well received and people want to know more details, then you can redo it as a webinar and maybe spend 40 minutes, 45 minutes in the webinar to go deeper into the matter. Any thoughts on that? 30 minutes pass quickly, we know, but it may also give an opportunity of not being too worried about having enough material to present. Again, a positive angle. Yeah, okay.
Next, this is my Excel sheet. So here you can see we have tried to shorten it down, get it more efficient. So that's why, and we also want to end up a little an hour earlier on day 2. So that's
People has a tendency of leaving early on day 2, so
yeah.
Maybe they leave even earlier this time, but
Yeah, even earlier.
yeah. But okay, so we do lunch there. Yeah, we talked about having a late lunch, but that's changed then. So we talked about ending.
Yeah, because the hotel have some restrictions there.
Yeah, okay. So the original plan was
but
to...
we can have it. We can have the lunch either 11:30 or at 1 o'clock, I think.
Yeah.
So I can look at that.
Yeah, because I think last time, and I'm sorry for not picking up on that, Lena, before you made the slide deck, but in the last meeting we had, we decided to end with lunch.
Yeah, yes, I forgot that. Sorry. I will fix that. See what we can do about that.
Yeah, because we would like to avoid empty rooms when people are presenting, and that was partly happening for the last presentation this year. It's sad because it was a good presentation, an important one. So let's see what we can do there.
Yep.
And then
fix that.
Move on to the layout, and this is the setup that we have. The gold members are the orange ones, I guess.
Yeah,
and
it is.
The bronze are the yellow ones, and those are the ones that are the smallest booths. So only
silver and bronze is the yellow ones.
Yeah, okay. So they are equal. Isn't the silver? Isn't that the blue one?
No, the blue one is just an. It's just because there isn't more space there, so it's.
Okay. So this is the layout we have to work with. So of course, back to your question, Lucas, if there are less participants, then there might be a bit more room, but 3 meters for everyone is probably a difficult thing in the top section.
And then we have to have fewer participants or except.
Yeah. But I guess we will see that if everyone has signed up, we can see the total number and see what we can do about that.
We can do that.
Yeah, but this is our plan to start with. And yeah, based on previous experience, I think we will end up with something like this.
But we can look at it when we come out, when we are closer to the event and see how many exhibitors we get.
Yeah, and we plan to continue to host the specialist corner in the meeting rooms, and people sign up for a discussion there on specific topics. And as always, I will repeat this again when we welcome everyone. We need to be quiet in the exhibition area when we have presentations on stage, because the sound is a bit of a problem. But it wasn't too bad last year, actually. So, or this year. I say last year, but the previous conference. Any questions? It is the same venue as we usually have. There has been some discussions about changing the venue. But the setup here is quite practical, quite compact, and access to breakout rooms and all of this is quite good. It's good commute to and from Gardermoen and the train and so on and so on. So the other alternatives we have been looking at is slightly more complicated on some of these variables. So we have decided to stick to this place. And if we are less than 300 in total, then I think this works out well. But
we have never been more than 300.
No. It's allowed to dream, you know.
Yeah, it is.
But I think moving lunch into the restaurant is making it less crowded as well. So that's one
yes,
thing.
because the reason is people move out of this area anyway. They move and eat out in the bar area and so on. So they a lot of them at least.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons. Yes. Next.
Yep.
Hello, other comments?
Oh, they're all nodding in agreement.
Totally shocked.
Yes. Yeah, you want to say something about this? This is shouldn't be a surprise to anyone.
There were also some questions here about the cost. So I can try to, last year we made a difference here because we know we have to have control over how many participants the exhibitors had. So therefore, if you, for example, is a silver member, you choose to have this level on your participation. You have 4 people who can participate. And the cost for these peoples are actually here. This is the year 25 cost prices. The conference fee is 3,000. But if you have register before I think it's 25th January 25, it's 1,500 per person. And then there is the accommodation, and that's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you are a speaker, you don't pay the conference fee. You just pay for the accommodation, the hotel. So that's and we are not so, or we don't want to have. You have to keep this limit of participants. It's important actually that we're not too many exhibitors. Sorry.
Yeah, and another thing we can comment here is that we have chosen to reduce the conference fee this time, even more than we did this year. And the reason for that is that we want to encourage people to come, and the money is building up on the
bank.
Yeah, in the bank, basically. So we are not a money-making organization, so we will try to give that back to the paying members, and I think focusing that on the conference and making that available for as many as we can at an affordable price is a better way of doing it. That's something we can scale up and down as we go. So a lot of the ticket price here is subsidized a little bit by Infoteam this time.
May I have a question?
Yes.
Just would like to clarify, sorry if I mixed this conference with another ones we had, because we have like 20 plus conferences this year. But I think then when we say number of participants, it means for very many other conferences, it means that this is included in the sponsorship package. It's already covered, especially when you look on the right side, it says other participants. It looks like additional ones. So maybe it's better to name it maximum number of participants, because I guess it's only speaker is included in price, right? The other ones has to be paid. I'm thinking about the table, that the number of participants, it's not something that is included, it's like max, it's limitation, right? Here.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's included in the price. I'm referring to that because for very many other events, it's usually when you say number of participants, it means it's a part of the package, of the sponsorship package that you get. It's already covered by the price.
Yeah, I agree. I had the same question from my side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
which actually caused problem in this year's budget, because I underestimated the cost. It's not a big problem, but it's better to be clear. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, I think what Lena wanted to emphasize here is that if you have someone giving a presentation then you don't get that on top of the others. So, but you're right. It's max number of participants from the vendors, and based on historical data, that's not the problem. I think there is only 1 or 2 who had issues here, and they solved that by changing their subscription to silver instead of bronze, and then the problem was solved.
Sure.
How do you mean that?
They wanted 3 participants, and they were bronze members. So the only way to get that was to be a silver member.
Yeah.
Which is not the intention behind the limitation from our side. Is not to force suppliers into a higher subscription. It's to get the mix of suppliers and customers balanced. And we did achieve that this time. So we're sticking to that.
Yep. And a common question is also what is this price actually? So you please note that this is a nothing. It's everything is included regarding meals and drinks and so on. So there isn't any more costs.
Actually, for the dinner, if you want something after dinner, then that's
yes. If you use the bar, you have to pay it beside.
If you have any follow-up questions around details here, then Lena is more than happy to answer those.
So that's how we do it in Norway. I know that it's different in other countries, but we have to make a reservation at the hotel for all rooms. So we have the risk. And that's how it's common to do that way in Norway. So that we have to. But I know that in Sweden, for example, you could go directly to the hotel, and there is another way pricing it actually.
Okay.
Yep. Then we have just a question each. So.
Sorry for consuming so much time, but I'm pretty new in this community. I would like to ask a question. Do you have any incentives for partners for bringing more customers to the event? Because you take care, which is very good, about the good balance between number of customer participants and other people. And there are some conferences where there are incentives for partners for inviting and bringing customers to the event. So do you have any programs like that?
No, but how does that work? It's not something we have discussed, but it doesn't mean we can't discuss it. Maybe not for this time, but for later. So it would be interesting to know how that works.
For some conferences, if there is, if the participants, if the customers pay, they get like free tickets. I mean, each partner gets free tickets that they can ship to their customers or discounted tickets. For the other conferences, what I observe is that if the partner brings customers, he gets additional ticket for customer participants. I mean, then you can get free entrance for additional person. Like, if you bring 4 customers, then you can add 1 more participants to your booth. So things like that, yeah. And then I think it increases the ratio that positively that you would like to take care of. I mean, things like that, yeah.
It's an interesting feedback and something we haven't talked about. But that's something we definitely can discuss and take a closer look at. I think we have not seen it from that angle before. We are more trying to push the customers to say that if you have 4 people, then the number 4 is for free. But that only brings more people from one customer and not more customers necessarily. Yeah, Øystein?
Yeah, could we have some free tickets included in the sponsorship? So like gold member, I have 4 free tickets that I can give to customers. Only not for accommodation, but only for the
conference.
Yeah.
Participation.
That could be a good idea, I think, because it's not expensive. It's like I can also buy it, but since I'm sponsoring with 80,000 a year, then I can. Maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah, it can be a good idea to get more people to come. So we will discuss that in our next meeting, how we can look at different ways of attracting more customers to join. Very good input.
Especially if it's customers who've never been in the conference before.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's an issue we have, that it's mostly the same companies who's coming. It's a good deal of the members in InfoTeam who doesn't participate.
Yeah,
actually.
And I think that it's not InfoTeam that should give this away, and it should not be Info either, because Info is like, yeah, you're married with them anyway. So I think it's a good idea.
Could be, yeah.
Especially as Lena said, if you can give it to someone that hasn't been there the last year or the last 2 years or new, and especially personally invite new members or new customers, for instance, that will increase the family, to phrase it like that. That could be an interesting idea, Øystein. Thank you.
It's also a very good fit for us, Øystein, now that we have actually some new customers that haven't been to the conference before, right? So it would fit well. We could push them to take part.
It's relevant, definitely.
Yeah, we will discuss, see what we can achieve already for the next event. This is something that we have talked about, but we haven't talked about these types of options, and that's definitely interesting.
So I feel encouraged to ask one more question. How about recording the presentations? Because what we usually do during the conferences, we ask our sales representatives to take the phone and record the entire presentation, because we live in the YouTube era, right? And we would like to publish this as a content on our YouTube channels. I think the other partners are also interested in having this content. Great presentations. It's like easy to achieve because we present it anyway. So you just record it and you publish. And we struggle with processing the videos because it's a poor quality. Usually, the voice is noisy, blah, blah, blah. How about providing this as a service for all of us, additional crew that will just stay and record with a professional camera? It could probably be an option that is a bit more expensive, but again, in the YouTube era, right? It's important to have this content.
Yeah, I think that could also have some side effect with people not wanting to do presentations, especially on the customer side, because they will be caught on tape. So if you make a mess of it, then it's okay if it leaves the room when the presentation is finished. It's not so okay if you end up on YouTube as a clickbait because you screwed up. So yeah, that's something we can discuss, of course, but I see there are multiple sides to that.
Yeah, I think also the purpose of doing the presentations is to get people together and to meet in the info teams, and not having them watching it,
on YouTube,
on YouTube
Later.
or on the side. So we don't want that to end up, I don't need to go there because I can watch it later anyway.
Yeah,
so I want people to be there to network and to meet each other, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I respect that, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we on topics then? I think it's important, as we said earlier here, that you come back to Lena as soon as possible with some material, so we can start filling in the blanks. And
yes, and you have to confirm that you will participate, actually.
Yeah.
It's just to say, hey, we want to participate.
Yeah, and if you quickly follow up that with presentations that you have, that you know already now know that you can do, then we can start building the program and start doing some advertising for it on the to the community.
And some of you have already confirmed, so that's okay. But I need some. I'm missing someone, and you're of course you're going to participate. It's just it's a simple question.
Yeah, and we don't need the final number of participants and these kind of things right
Nothing
now.
like that.
Just some.
I just don't want to know if I should mag you or not.
Yeah, and then there was another thing. The thing we talked about, Lena, the keynote speakers.
Yes.
I think the previous.
Yes.
In the previous events, we've been quite confident that the speaker we have found is something for all to like. I think this time we are having some proposals, but we are not sure which one of them to go for. And if any one of you who are around and see a lot of different events have some input to this, then we are more than willing to listen. Maybe if you know some of the names that we already have as proposals, then we can get some input on choosing one of them. I'm not sure if you have that list of people ready to show.
No, but I can send it to you. But we have had this. We have in the board. We have discussed to try to find somebody in actually in Gartner or in Radar in Sweden or somebody in that with that role who could help us to speak about the ERP's place in the digital world. And then we have spoken about a guy called Torgeir Waterhouse here in Norway. He could perhaps do it. I don't know, but we haven't landed that one yet. So if you have any good heard anybody who was, it would be nice to know. Yep.
Okay.
That's but I can send you what we have discussed. It's not so much, but I can send that to you.
Yeah, you can share the list of candidates we have, and if anyone has any opinions on which one is better than the other, then we are more willing to listen. After all, we're all in this together, and everyone needs to chip in a little bit and make it as good as it can be. Okay. Everyone is happy then? No further questions?
You are sharing the PowerPoint?
Yes, of course. And the link for the recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for a good presentation and looking forward to continue to cooperate. Yeah.
Yeah. And looking forward to see you all physically at the user conference. Bye for now.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.